So welcome back everyone to another round of Planet Nomads. I am back again, ready to work on the base a bit today, and oh man, there's some lag right there. Oh yeah, bad lag happening still, just moving around, and not even when it's saving, it's just something makes it lag really badly. But we're gonna do some more work today, and my plan today is to do some work on the other interior decorating idea. One spot I want to have like a kind of a cafe type thing. So we'll have like a little food counter type thing over here with maybe a few seats. And then we might do some more open seats there and along there. Basically, it's like a lounge cafeteria area with some nice decorations, but also a place to stay if you need a place to stay for the night or kind of thing. You know, once we have, of course, our landing pads and hangar bays done. So I would like something kind of in this style. A little bit of open space at the back to walk around, or, you know, the server to get back here, but more of a come up here, take an order, and then be able to pull from, you know, some storage stuff here in terms of food, and then have to figure out how to make some, you know, proper tables and seating for the area. And here we go. I tried the railings and I didn't like it looking so open behind it, so I did add some blocks behind. But I'm using the little skinny wall sections here, the little angled ones, which creates a nice kind of, you know, basis for the top piece to fit across. And then of course we have two ordering or payment stations, like, okay, come up here and order. So you could think of it as a kiosk in a way, whether we want to have somebody staffed here or we want to have like just kind of imagine some robot sitting here. They place their order, robot turns around, gets the supplies, hands it to them. Here's your food, sir. Thank you very much. So now we just need, I'm going to go based on there's somebody here distributing the materials. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to do like 2 storage lockers, kind of like a refrigerator set up. And look, I like how it, you know, is so smooth. You don't see a seam between them. That actually looks really nice. And so yes, it's kind of like, oh, you could have this as a door on one side, but no, it's come over here, open up, pull out some supplies, and that's it. And then that leaves us room if we really want. Put a couple of these here like that. Yeah. So now we've got, you know, a little bit of storage, maybe the perishable stuff that needs to be kept cold up in the cabinets, and then on that, just the non-perishable stuff, maybe spices, condiments, things like that. You know, hey, can I get some ketchup with this? Thank you. Yes, sir, you can, and reach right in there and you're done. And you know, to cover up the side here, why not throw a few little plants in? You know, nice decoration. And there we go. We have power to these. More importantly, a little bit of lighting in here. Just right there. Nice little, you know, theme lighting. And then, of course, later on, I'm going to add a lot of lights to the ceiling to try and compensate for the lack of light here. Probably, if I had to guess right now, I'll probably be doing the big spotlights because those have a much better coverage range than the traditional light. So I'll probably be doing something more like putting those on the ceiling. And I did add the lights to this, which gives a very nice look down, but you see how little light is actually making it all the way to the actual floor of the level. And even more on this side, you just see how little light from those is actually making it. But if I did one of these, you know, this is a spotlight. It's meant to be pointing much further away. And to compensate for distance on the lights, I added a power switch on the base of each. And there, that's much brighter. That gives a much better look. So while they're not the best option cosmetically, they are the best. I mean, you know, in terms of the light itself, the way it looks, it's not the best cosmetic option, but in terms of actually providing light down below, they are. And you know, we'll start with right here. And there we go. There's my spotlight. Looks very nice. Has good coverage. And then I just replicate that across different spots on this level. I think what I'll do is kind of like that's getting just to the edge there. So I do want it to be kind of like, you know, covers up to the edge. I'll have to do more along that side, but I'm gonna try. I'll toy around with the distancing and see if I can make an optimal setup that will provide lighting for the entire floor without getting in the way of this stuff right here. So I was thinking about using the large light panel because it is, you would think, line up middle around that, but also will not let me place like this. I mean, look at that. That's a nice little tabletop type surface. And I figure I'll put it on the little rotor, and that gives a nice kind of almost, you know, it's not just a straight block. It's like a round post almost, but that's not working the way I want it to. So here's what I've come up with. Using the little rounded type corner ones, I've been able to create a nice little round feel to it. And I thought I'd try the rounded section here. And you notice it doesn't line up. It doesn't line up with that piece. It's meant to line up more with this piece, which honestly would work, but it feels like it's a little bit too... It feels like it'd make the table fat looking to me. So, and there we go. Table option number 2. Using the... Which, now that I'm seeing it, I definitely feel like I was thinking correctly. It does look a little fatter. The other one looks a little bit more streamlined, you know, like it's a table. This looks just, it's so bulbous on the underside. I'm not sure I like it that much better. Actually, I don't like it better at all. I like that much better. But we'll have different ones. And the great thing by doing it this way is I can just unlock the joint and spin it around a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Nice rotation, and it gives you a little bit of a variety type option for the tables. And I know, you know, last time I was having a lot of problems with blocks getting offset just slightly and causing issues. And I've been replacing these quite a few times thinking I got it offset. But if you look, that is perfectly carefully placed. And when I complete it, it's fine. But when you look at it, it actually is slightly off. You can see that slight difference in the frame alignment there, which to me is just kind of like that should have been dead on, because it really does imply to me that I got it wrong and I need to redo it, even though I actually did it right. And there we have it. The little dining table set over here. Again, I'm not sure what I would do for tables or for chairs. And at this point, I mean, the best I could come up with would be something really blocky, which would be very much taking up a lot of space. So we'll just assume this is more like a bar, cafe type area where people come in. Instead of sitting down, they're getting a drink, getting something to eat, sitting here, standing kind of at the table. And when they're done, then they go throw their stuff away. And, you know, that's a good point, too. We need some kind of trash disposal, you know, trash cans. We need something like that. And I'm thinking, because I'm going to have a wall here that's enclosing this, I'll just put some kind of trash can set up along the walls. Haha. There you go. Trash receptacle, waste disposal. And, you know, I guess technically I could just put like blocks in there so it's dark, kind of like you're not actually able to see inside of it. I don't know. That does look interesting, though. That gives a nice little look. You get done eating, got your waste, go over here, dump it in there. We're done. You know, that's 7 blocks over. So that's actually, in terms of this side to that side, perfect placement. Maybe, I mean, I could go a little bit closer if need be, just to make sure things are lit up a bit more. I think I will go a little bit closer. This was just to get things started. And now that I know how it's going to work, we're going to go in, yeah, 2 closer. That should give plenty of coverage for the wall over here. We'll test that real quick before I go cutting it off. And like I said, I'm gonna do something different with the power structuring for this. So that one's off, and it still lights that up perfectly fine. Which means I just need to measure 7 spots from there up to this point. Build another one. That'll give perfect lighting there. And that's how it will look with 2 of the lights positioned only 12 spaces apart. So that's kind of good. I mean, it's still... that's so bright right there. Like, ow, my eyes. I don't want to be standing here for even 30 minutes of a day because I'll go blind from that. I feel like I need to move them closer together, actually. You'll see how much, if I get too much closer together, they're going to cross over a bit. And there we go. That's with them adjusted out. 1 more space on each side. So I moved the ends closer to the windows, which gave a little bit more room. And then I moved it where it's going to start just past that point there, and then I'm going to measure this way, make sure that's the right alignment, because I want to make sure it kind of gets, I don't want to be just right up over there. I want to have it kind of cover both sides. You see, it really doesn't cover much on these, so there may be some different lights along here, just like outside the doors instead of this. And there I go. I have the lights in place. And I've done all of them except for that one there because I want to see how that looks. And though that one there probably will get replaced with just some of these smaller lights. Maybe some kind of, you know, spotlight type thing to target those. But yeah, look at that. That looks pretty good. You know, it's got a very nice little clean enclosure type look to it. And it's got a very good amount of light. You can see going side to side just how well lit the area is around those, how well it blends from one coverage circle to the next. So I think that's going to end up being what I do the whole way around this level. Of course, outside the stairwell, that is. So one more thing before I call it into this episode. Inotur, who is someone I've done his designs before, I've looked at him. He mentioned that he thought I might still have some blocks that were offset in the design, considering the problems I had last time. So I made a temporary blueprint. I spawned it in, realized I needed a support strut, so I added another support strut, redid the blueprint, spawned in, and using the block count command, you see, which fortunately persists between game loads, my block count from the last test in the normal survival mode was 3,767 blocks in it. Spawned it in, and I have 3,767 blocks. So that means that none of them are offset, causing it to not function as a single entity, I guess. But yeah, I've got it working, and unfortunately you can't build into the ground with this design for some reason on these, so it flipped. Alright, so that's going to be it for this episode of Planet Nomads. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button, leave me a comment, let me know if you like the tables I did, the lighting setup I've done, and if you have any suggestions on ways to tweak or maybe improve that, I'd love to hear from you. Of course, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. And as always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I'll see you in the next video.